Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Legacy United. This is squeezeplay from the G1 universe, which is also from the Versus 4-pack. So in this video, we're going to have a quick look at him in both his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to have a look at the accessories that come with them and how you can use them in both modes. We've also got a few other figures in the same toy line, which we can see how he looks and scales like against them. Unfortunately, I don't have my Generation 1 squeezeplay at hand. However, when we review the rest of the pack, I will do a full comparison with him in the original and all of the Legacy and Prime Wars Trilogy monster bots as well. So let's get started with some first impressions. And to be honest, this guy is amazing. Yes, we know he's a partial retool, but I just think they've nailed it. I think it looks so good. What's most important to me is the fact that, of course, he is still a headmaster, and we do still have Locust, which we can have a look at in a second. Now, because obviously this isn't from like one of the War for Cybertron molds, it does unfortunately have a few gaps. But as I say with all toy companies, because all these gaps are on the back, then I'm not particularly too fussed. That's the get out of jail for me. You can't see it from the front, so I'm not too bothered. The head, because it's got the headmaster gimmick, will turn all the way around. It's got restricted movement, but it'll still look up and down because, of course, it is an actual little figure itself. You can see that the shoulders are on ball and socket joints, so you can take these all the way out to the side. You can spin them all around unrestricted. There's a swivel here, which is just below the shoulder. It's quite tight. There's a bicep flexion, which you've got the double bend, and yes, that is for transformation purposes, which you will see in a separate video. And the hands, there's no rotation unfortunately, but they do bend back slightly, but that is again only for transformation purposes. There is a waist swivel, which is great. The legs will kick all the way up just past the point of a right angle, I think, and if the head stays out of the way, or if if it's twisted to the side, you can do the full splits. You can also do the same out to this side. In fact, it'll go way beyond that. Pretty much Van Damme and Kickboxer on the two chairs there, I think. That's it. And it's also got the swivel just below the thigh with the knee bend and with the claws. You've got the tilt in the ankle, but you can also, I suppose, use this as a tilt or a lift. So fully articulate, looking fantastic. I'm going to look at the accessories now, even though we normally look at them a bit later on these videos, but that's because it's brilliant. That's because, of course, this is supposed to be Browning, and for obvious reasons, they can't make a full-size figure of him. If you're unsure who this figure is based on, I've got the Japanese original. You can check that out by typing Browning into the search bar on this channel. And he also comes with this, which can be used as a shield, and we'll have a more of a look at that when we come back in the final segment. I think that's pretty much all there is to say about him at this point in this robot mode. Let's have a look at him in his alternate mode. So we're back, and he's in his alternate mode, which I've got to confess I do really like, even though it's very odd looking, but that's because it's a great homage to the original figure, and because I suppose it's sort of a fictional beast, so stroke walking crab, whatever it is. It's a good interpretation of exactly what that is. And again, because it was a robot and we've just swapped the limbs over, the articulation on it is pretty good. For those of you who want to see the transformation process, it is separately uploaded, so it acts as a tutorial. Round the back, we've got a lot going on in honesty, and I do want to show you something that is in the instructions. I personally will not be using it. But it is a great way for you to store everything. So you can, I suppose, put the tail, because the G1 had this as a tail and actually attached to the back to balance it. Again, you'll see that in a full video when I come to do the comparisons with the rest of the box set. And then you can, of course, attach Browning to the back if you want. Me personally, though, I think because now there's too much on the back going on and it would perhaps cause problems for display, I wouldn't choose to do that, but the option is there for you if you wanted to. So I would just be keeping that up there like so. So of course the articulation, there's some in this particular movement here. It does move up and down. The jaw has, I can't tell. I don't think it does. The actual hinge is to the whole moving bracket. So the head will move up and down, the jaw won't. The arm for the crabs have loads of articulation though, because of course these were the legs, so you can move them up at what I suppose is a shoulder, and you can swing it around underneath. These move. The claws are independent as well, and of course, because it was the ankles, you've got the tilt and rock, which means that you can lift them up as well. The legs are on ball and sockets, so you can turn these either way. and you can kick them up ever so slightly. Unfortunately, there's no real ankle tilt or rock in this mode, but again, from the front and most importantly, I think it looks great. Now, the other cool thing, again, why I really like this, and anybody who follows me in this channel knows that at heart I really am a Generation 1 complete fanboy, and that's because of this. So of course the Generation 1 figures, these were either pilots, drivers, whatever, and that's exactly what this still plays homage to. The little robot itself, of course, you can tell is the head. Because the main head moves around, this is on a ball and socket. The individual limbs have ball joints at the shoulders and the top of the hips, but the legs are stuck together. Right, what we can do, this is the cool part. Let's bend this back. This tab is now going to fit, sorry, it keeps going in and out of focus, into this here. And as I said, because he was a headmaster, this is his, do we call him pilot? Do we call him driver? Nebulon partner, we'll call him, because that's the Hasbro continuity. Or we could, of course, call him but though its other name in Japan slightly different. But that, as you can see, again, I think works really well. And now he is obviously more a smaller deluxe size figure. I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about this particular mode. Again, I like it because it is a great homage to the original figure. But let's come back for the final time with him in his robot mode, with all of his accessories and see how he displays with some other figures. Right then, back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and this is the way that I will definitely be displaying him. Again, it's just such a great homage to the original figure. So with the headmaster in place, I obviously just want to confirm that unfortunately the dials do not work on that. However, you can lift this up if you want to and look inside, obviously, because this is where the tail did attach. And there's still some nice bit of molding detail in on there, which I think is great. And of course, we can now pop the shield on either hand, and again, you've got a choice if you want to. The fact, if you want, you can put the gun still on the back, how it was in the alternate mode, or of course you can pop, and I'm going to say him because of course Browning is a character, or you can pop Browning in his other hand. Once again though, because he does have more 5mm ports on that, you can add things like blast effects or indeed other weapons if you wanted to. I think it's a great homage, and it's so clever how they managed to take an existing mold and use it again to make another one of the G1 figures. Right, with regards to his size, let's bring in, as I say, I haven't really got many standard deluxe size figures. Unfortunately, we've got poor old Prowl from that set, so you can see that he is definitely just in line with the deluxe. He scales perfectly with that. He's obviously bigger than the smaller mini bot deluxes, but to be honest, with the Voyager class figures as well, some of them aren't super tall, but he does scale really well with them at the same time. There you go then. I don't think I've got anything more to say about him. As I will say though, I'll remind you all that I will be doing more on this particular figure with the rest of the set, so you'll get to see them other all-important comparisons as well. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and of course, huge thanks to Hasbro for the opportunity to review him. Thanks guys, take care.